Hi everybody, Dr. K here, hopping on from Integrative Health Management. How is everybody today? I know I said I was going to do a video on this energy piece that I keep talking about, and I know I said I was going to do it last week. I'm a little late on that, sorry. But we're here and we're going to discuss it today, and I'm super excited because this is really, really important. At least to me, it's really important because I integrate lots of things in my practice to make the body heal faster. So I know I've done a lot of videos and I've talked about energy and I've talked about congestion, and you may be like, what does she mean by congestion? And you're not making the connection. So I want to talk about that today. So some of you may have heard of Reiki. That deals with energy. So first and foremost, to understand that we are energetic beings. The heart by itself is an electromagnetic device. It pumps by itself. What tells the heart to pump? So you're going to say, well, your brain tells it to pump. Well, yeah, sort of, but it has electroconduction by itself. What tells your fingernails to grow? Well, you're going to say your brain, but then what tells your brain? So we actually have we are beyond just this physical thing, you know, our skin. So we actually have a soul, and we have way more to us than just our hair and our skin and our teeth. There's way more. So that's the very, very important thing to kind of understand. So we are energetic beings, and so we have organs, but inside our organs there's these things called chakras, and you may have heard of those. And to those maybe that have not, I'm going to describe them as little motors that kind of spin and turn, and they start actually affecting the organs. So these little motors are not things that we can necessarily visualize. They're indirectly tested. So when something's going wrong with things, it's already manifested inside the organ. So we have multiple areas of these little kind of turning motors, and when these motors don't turn, or they stagger, or they're not functioning kind of properly and not circulating right, like a regular motor you'd think of when it's going, that's what I'm gonna refer to as congestion. So it can be, we're just going to call it congestion. It's just not functioning properly. And when it's not functioning properly, then it starts to dive in and affect the organ that it's associated with. So we have a handful of these chakras. We have one right up here, it's your crown. We have your forehead, you have your pineal gland, you have another chakra here. You actually have one in your throat. You have one in your heart, you have one in your solar plexus down here, and then it goes on to your navel and near your sex organs. And actually every single joint has its own little chakra too. So wherever there's a bend, there's a chakra as well. So when these things are what I'm going to refer to as congested, then it starts working its way into the organ or the area that it's associated with. And also, in conjunction with that, you may say, well, how do these things get congested? And what do you mean by that? There's multiple ways they can get congested. One of the primary ways is thoughts and emotions. Thoughts and emotions have been studied so much, and I can give you multiple amounts of excerpts from studies with measuring thoughts indirectly through neurotransmitters, through hertz, and that's how they kind of measure what's going on inside the system and how the system is functioning. So when our thoughts are not in alignment, and when we have been affected by traumatic events, anything from divorce to childhood traumas to job loss to you name it, and we have constant emotions, those actually start affecting some of these chakras. That's one of the main ways. And like one of my mentors says, your thoughts wear chemical clothes, and they actually do produce physiological responses. They have tested this, so it's proven. So things happen when these little motors in these areas in our bodies get congested, as I refer to, energetically congested, and they're not working right. And what happens then when they start not working right and it works its way into the system? So something like your crown chakra can have an effect on your pineal gland not working right. Your forehead kind of in here, you can start actually getting memory loss and dementia and Alzheimer's and those sorts of things. Your throat chakra, one of the biggest ones where we make decisions from. And you can have, when this is kind of not working right in here, you can have things like, sore throats, loss of voice, difficulty in other areas, thyroid issues. So this is a really important one. And as is the solar plexus, which is kind of down here right below your rib cage. When that's congested, you can get things like, cholesterol issues, diabetes. I mean, there's just a lot of conditions associated with that. The heart chakra here, really important one too. It gets very affected by emotions. I've actually spoken to a lot of my patients and have seen this, where they had a spouse die and all of a sudden 10 years down the road, they're having heart attacks. Their mitral valve isn't working right. They've had to have that repaired. They have stents. All sorts of really interesting things start to happen. Circulatory issues start happening. Lung issues start getting affected. So the heart just affects a lot of everything in our body is connected, and it's all kind of speaking to each other at all times. So when one chakra is getting congested, it's kind of affecting some other things. So, these things are really important. So you might say, great, well, how do I decongest these things? Well, there's a couple things. Grounding, there's a video I did way back on grounding, and I may repeat that again, getting back in your body, because we are always kind of driving and we don't know what, we're thinking about the next thing that we have to do. We're thinking about what we have to plan for dinner. We think about all the activities we have to do with the kids, and you're always in the next, and we forget our keys, and, so you're not in your body. And that's one of the most important things, to really get back in your body and get grounded. And that's one way to start the process of these things, slowing down a little bit and working right. There's way more. Salt baths are also good too. That kind of cleans things up. But there's actually ways to kind of decongest these and clean this up. And, when I see my clients, these are the two things I look at. Yeah, they're coming in with, I have heart issues, I've had a heart attack, I've had stents, I have neuropathy, I have all these, I have fibromyalgia. Okay, great, it's worked its way into the body. We need to treat that part, and we do that with some functional medicine and some quantum biofeedback and things that I do to help the body start healing. But I dive right into what caused that to beginning from the get-go. You weren't born with that, so how did it get there? So I start looking at where there's congestion and cleaning that up, and there's a very specific way that I do that. That's not something you can do at home, unfortunately. So it's something that can be learned, but you do kind of got to see me so we can clean those things up and then start working on the system. So it's a little bit of what I call a program. I tackle both ends, and I can tell you there's very few doctors that do what I do. And it's effective. It's very, very effective. And it takes a couple sessions, yes, because you didn't get this way overnight. So we need to unwind a couple things. But the max at how fast you've gotten better, how fast you get better, is much more exponential than some of the clients that I've talked to that have been seeing somebody for 5 years, and they bring me a stack of papers this high of reports and studies that have been done, and then they tell them it's idiopathic, meaning we don't know what's caused it. You got to live with it. Here's your medications. And some people really don't want to live in that state. I wouldn't. So that's where I always tell people I look outside of the box. Like if your tests are coming back normal, or they're giving you everything and changing this medication and fixing this, and you're kind of not like, hey, I'm a ton better, then maybe we need to look at some other things, or maybe we need to look at, maybe we can curtail some of these medications that you're on, and having you take only the things that you absolutely need to take. So there's ways to clean this up, and this is the two-way approach. I deal with both dealing with this congestion, cleaning up these areas that have worked their way into the body and are kind of causing some havoc for you. So if you have more questions on this, or let me know if I can help you, I'm happy to help, happy to answer any questions. Just email me at drk@ihmohio.com, or you can direct message me through the Facebook page. or visit the Facebook page. It describes a little bit. There's, if you go on www.ihmohio.com, it will show you some of those things and discuss those a little bit in a little bit more in-depth way. But feel free to really just reach out to have your questions answered, because sometimes things aren't as clear, and getting that clarification then really helps to make a decision on what you need to do next. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that clarifies a little bit. So now you'll know when I talk about things being energetically congested, it has now worked its way into your body and into your organs. And it's just some of these motors may not be working correctly. And once they're corrected, you feel a whole lot better. So till next time, I will probably try to discuss some of these organs and maybe some of the ways that they have worked in the body and how you see it show up. That might be a nice thing that I could do for you. Take one organ at a time. We have some things planned. Dr. Nick will be coming back, and we'll be doing some more videos with him as well. So stay tuned, and please reach out if you have any questions. Just happy to help. Till next time, take good care.